Woo! Hey kids, let's say you're looking for a guitar. Let's say you also have good taste and are looking for a Les Paul or a single cut style guitar specifically. Now there's lots of choices out there, from $200 Fireflies to $3,000 Gibsons. The option paralysis is girthy and intimidating. But there is one single cut out there that I think every guitar player should own at least once. They come with great specs, very reasonable prices, and have absolutely pendulous balls. Good evening everyone, I am your stay-at-home stepdad Den Den, and today I'm gonna do my darndest to try and convince you why everyone, including you, should own an LTD EC-1000. Now it's gonna sound like it is, and I wish it was, but sadly, this is not a sponsored video. Absolutely nobody is paying me or asking me to say this. The EC-1000 glaze that is about to ravage your eardrums is coming purely from my love for these guitars. I am always getting comments on my Gibson and Epiphone videos about how LTD EC-1000s are literally 1,000 times better. And you guys are just preaching to the choir. When it comes to pushing EC-1000 propaganda, I am the head writer. Now what is an LTD EC-1000? That sounds like a vacuum. An EC-1000 is the more affordable version of the Japanese ESP Eclipse, which are either made in Korea or Indonesia under ESP's LTD brand. Now the ESP Eclipse was a guitar that started off as a one-to-one copy of a Gibson Les Paul that eventually over time turned into the look that you see here. Really, they just sharpened up the horn, changed the control layout, and switched the inlays and headstock to the ESP flag shape. It's kind of like when you copy someone else's homework, but you don't want to make it obvious that you copied them, so you change it up just a little bit. That would be a cute reason. The actual reason is because Gibson is a litigious little gargoyle. But why should you buy an LTD EC-1000 over the competition? Well, for starters, they range anywhere from $1,100 to $1,800 brand new, but used they can go for as low as $500, $600, $700. And these guitars are packed to the crack with aftermarket parts and quality of life features. Mahogany bodies, sometimes with maple caps, mahogany necks, ebony fretboards, Tone Pro's locking tunematic bridge, locking LTD tuners, railroad track-sized frets that feel effortless to play on, and if it's an EC-1000 that was made after 2021, those frets will be stainless steel. They also come with amazing upper fret access and LTD's perfect thin U neck shape. Already these specs are better than what you get from an equally priced Gibson or Epiphone. Yeah, that's right, if you haven't kept up, Epiphone thinks they can be this expensive now too. But the quality control over at LTD also blows those two silly geese clear out of their stinky green water. I have literally never played a bad LTD guitar. I'm sure they exist, but the ratio is so good to where I personally have never encountered one in the 18 years that I've played guitar. Jesus Christ, that made me feel so old. Now I know what you're saying, but Den Den, you beautiful boneheaded bitch, these are metal guitars, and I'm a blues man. All I do is finger the pentatonic scale like it's my wife, who left me after I sat on my gun weird and blew my entire dick and balls off at Cracker Barrel. And that's where you're wrong, Stumpy. I know there's that stigma that LTD only makes metal guitars, but guys, it is 2025. Stop assuming genders. You think I'm only playing some backwater yokel bullshit on this Gretsch? No. Now, a big reason for why a lot of people think that these are metal exclusive guitars is because they're most widely known for coming with active pickups like EMGs or Fishmans, which a lot of people think is a cardinal sin to play bluesy or more soulful stuff on, which is just kind of silly. Like, you guys know David Gilmour has a signature set of EMGs, right? That guitar has an EMG 5766 set in it. But don't worry, even if you would still prefer passive pickups, you're in luck, because there are plenty of LTD EC-1000s that come with passive pickups. Usually a Seymour Duncan JB and 59 set, which ain't nothing to sneeze at, I tell you what. Which brings me to my next reason why I think everyone should own an LTD EC-1000. There are so many different versions of this guitar, it is mind-boggling. It puts your mind in a bottle and just shakes it around. You can correct me in the comments, but I know what I said. I truly believe there is an EC-1000 out there for everyone. With other brands like Gibson and Epiphone, really the only thing that changes between Les Pauls is the neck shape, the pickups, and the finishes. Besides that, they're basically all the same guitar. But I want you to just take a second and think of a color in your head. Any color. You got one? They've probably made an EC-1000 in that color. Black, white, aged white, honeyburst, lemonburst, sunburst, blue, red, purple, green, brown. You want one that's like a tobacco burst Les Paul custom? Well, here you go, my little boopa. Oh, you want a silver burst one? I knew you'd say that. It's right here, my friend. You want it to have 22 frets and be the same thickness as a Les Paul? Take your pick. You want one that's thicker than a Les Paul body? They don't really do that. That's kind of an odd request. Les Paul bodies are already pretty thick. Anything thicker than that is kind of getting into kink territory, and you just can't expect everybody to be down with that. But if you want one with a thinner body and 24 frets, then your cup runneth over. Terrence, want one with a Floyd Rose or maybe an Evertune perchance? You've got options. Are you more of a single pickup Les Paul Jr. kind of slut? They've got you covered. Are you a size queen and need something longer than a 24.75 inch scale length? Well, don't worry, freak ass, because you can get a baritone EC-1000 also. Need more than 6 strings? There's a 7-string and an 8-string version. Need something a little girthier than that thin U neck shape? Okay, but just calm down a little bit. Just get the Alex Skolnick signature. It's basically an EC-1000 that comes with a thicker neck just for you, you demented pervert. You guys gotta turn it down a peg. This is a Christian Minecraft server. I love official Les Pauls, don't get me wrong, but sadly, Gibson and Epiphone aren't doing nearly as much as they could with that shape. When you go the LTD route, you get a much better bang for your buck, far better consistency, and have far more spec options and variety than any other brand making single cuts or Les Paul style guitars right now. If you guys have made it this far, then congratulations, you're getting a reward. And that reward is I'm going to teach you how to read LTD's naming convention. Well, a little bit of it, just like the EC-1000 stuff. It looks a little intimidating, but it's really not that bad at all. It's not Ibanez's naming convention or anything like that. So if it just says EC-1000, then it is a base EC-1000. Those are the ones that come with thinner bodies and 24 frets. If it's an EC-1000T, then it comes with a body that is the traditional Les Paul thickness and 22 frets. If it's an EC-1000 CTM, that means it has the visual features of a Les Paul custom via multiply binding on the front, back, and headstock of the guitar. EC-1007 is the 7-string. EC-1008 is the 8-string. EC-01FTs are the single cut Les Paul Jr. style ones. I'm just gonna do like a little lightning round for the rest of the letters. B means baritone, FR means Floyd Rose, QM means quilted maple, and Evertune means Evertune. Congratulations and you're welcome. I think y'all will be able to just infer what the rest of those mean. You're smart little cookies, I'm sure you'll figure it out. Now to wrap up this video, I just want to take a second and talk about my EC-1000s. This was my first EC-1000, and it is a 2012 base model EC-1000. So it has the thinner body and 24 frets. I swapped out the black EMG 8160s that were on it for a set of brushed gold EMG 5766s. And if you couldn't tell by the name tag, her name is Veronica. That is because my grandma bought me this guitar for my birthday just a few months before she died of cancer. It's also why I got the cancer ribbon back here. And my grandma was very important to me, and this was the last birthday present that she ever gave me, so I am never letting this guitar go. If there's a fire, I will grab this guitar before I grab either of my Gibson Les Pauls. Up next we have Ruthie, my EC-1000T CTM in vintage gold satin. This is an EC-1000T, so it has the full thickness Les Paul body, and it only comes with 22 frets instead of 24. As you can see, this is the neck carve I was talking about before. It really improves upper fret access and it looks really clean too. And again, it's also a CTM, so it has multi-ply binding on the front, back, and on the headstock. And originally this guitar came with Fishman Fluence Open Core Classics, but as you can see, I have swapped those out for a brushed gold EMG headset. I think this is the most solid guitar I have ever owned. I have yet to experience a single issue with this guitar. It has been rock solid since the day I bought it from Guitar Czar when these first got released. By the way, RIP Guitar Czar. Shout out to those tariffs for ruining yet another brick and mortar business. I absolutely love this guitar, and again, I think I would grab this one before my Gibsons also. Hey, it's later. I forgot a few things. Yeah, this is what I do with my hair when I want it out of my face. Looks very silly, I know. But yeah, I named this guitar after Julia Garner's character in Ozark, cause duh. I don't know shit about fuck. Yeah, it's like the exact same color as her hair. And the reason I'm filming this later in the day is because I forgot that I hadn't brought my other EC-1000 over to the new studio yet. But this is my third. Her name is Diora. She's an EC-1000T in satin honeyburst. Again, since it's an EC-1000T, the body is the same thickness as a Les Paul. However, this one is chambered, so it's really light. But while it is an EC-1000T, it's not an EC-1000T CTM. So it doesn't have all the binding that a Les Paul Custom would have. Instead, this is supposed to be more akin to just a regular old Gibson Les Paul standard. If you couldn't tell by the old fart honeyburst dad guitar look, it does have single ply binding over the headstock, which is something a normal Gibson Les Paul standard would not have. Just like the other two, this one comes with LTD's locking tuners, which have always worked really good for me. I forgot to mention that ESP LTD also respects the Les Paul shape a lot more than Gibson and Epiphone do, because LTD doesn't put kidney button tuners on their single cuts. They only put the proper keystone buttons on their EC-1000s. And then again, this one just has one of the nicest flame maple veneers I've seen. It does have a little bit of movement, but it's not much because it's a veneer. But this veneer is just so much better than the veneers you can get on modern day Epiphones. Like, why are they still so blurry and hard to see? I don't get it. Normally this model comes with the Zebra Fishman Fluence Open Core Classics, but I put the black ones that came in my aged white LTD into this guitar just because I thought double blacks would look way cooler. And I was correct. I like the Fishmans in this one, but I am thinking about putting some passive pickups into this guitar. That way at least one of my EC-1000s has passive pickups. Oh yeah, and then I top wrapped this one for a video a while ago. Still not really a fan of it. But yeah, you're probably wondering why this guitar is named after a Hot Wheels car, and that is because I named my childhood dog after a Hot Wheels car. Look, I actually have a picture of her right here. You can see, this is a really old picture from like my childhood house. And you can see I had a Rottweiler named Bella, and then Diora was this little border terrier mix thing right here. My mom spelled her name wrong, but there's Diora for you. And after about 1 billion years, Diora finally passed away back in 2021, and it was right before Christmas. And for that Christmas, I got one of those Epiphone 1959 Les Paul standards. It was a honeyburst one, and it kind of reminded me of Diora, so I just named it after her. But I didn't really like that guitar, so I ended up selling it, and I used that money to buy an Epiphone Lazarus 1959 Les Paul when those came out. And again, it was like a lemon burst, kind of same color as Diora. The flames reminded me of her fur, so I just named my Lazarus Diora Mark II. I didn't end up keeping that guitar either, sold it, and then used that money to get this guitar. And again, still, it's a honeyburst with a flame top, so this is Diora Mark III. And those are all my EC-1000s. I think with that, we are going to wrap up today's video. I hope I have done an ample job at convincing you of why everyone including you, should own an LTD EC-1000. They are fantastic guitars with amazing quality control that you can get for an absolutely insane price if you go the used route. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I really appreciate it. As always, go down there and leave a comment. Give me your thoughts and opinions. I love to hear what you guys have to say. If you did enjoy, make sure you go down there and flick the bean of that like button over there. And if you regularly watch my videos and you haven't already subscribed, then you know what? Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done. As always, a big shout out and a thank you to Cosmic Steez, A Horse Running, Solar Flare, Rob Heath, Bad Joe Guitars, Brandon's Ballsong Corner, Bandage Knives, Jan Chocolate, Leagues Beneath, Scott Toman, Big Tills, Torch of Hope, and Mr. Crazy. These Heathas are my current channel members and their support really does mean a lot. If you want to join them, get a shout out in my longer videos, get access to the members only videos, and just help support this channel in a bigger way, then you can go down there, click the join button. Tiers start as low as 3 schleemies. There's also the super thanks button down there if you just want to give me some money. But I am done being a tool. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.
Now fuck off, you little dick.